Okay, real quick, I want to show why the prismatic packs that we got didn't all have the exact same weight range. We had really light 21 gram packs, and then we had the mid-range 21 gram packs, then the 22 gram packs. And I said that my theory is the wrappers cause some of that weight difference, and that is partly true. And I have all of the pack wrappers that we need to weigh here, and I also have cards from each of those weight categories to show that the differences in weight isn't only the wrappers, as I found out. It has to do with the cards themselves. So let's calibrate my scale here real quick. Okay, 50 grams. That's exactly what it should be. And here is the really light 21 gram pack wrapper. It's the really lightweight one. Definitely, if you feel it, you know that this is a really light wrapper. So let's see what the weight of this one is. This one is 0.71 grams. Now let's weigh the 21 gram pack wrapper. That was the higher range, and it is a normal-ish pack wrapper, you know, not the lightweight shiny one. And the 21 gram one is 0.89, so definitely higher or heavier than that really light one. Now we have the 22 gram pack. That was a pretty slender size, more snug around the cards, because if you remember, our 22 gram pack had really spacious wide wrappers, and this is one of them here. But we're going to weigh the normal one, and this is the same kind of material as we see in the regular 21 gram one, the higher, heavier 21 gram range. So this one is 0.91, so just a little bit heavier than the 21 gram pack wrapper, but definitely much heavier than the really lightweight 21 gram wrapper. Now this is another 21 gram wrapper, the heavier 21 gram, with the same material as the 22 gram, and it's 0.90, so not all wrappers are going to be exactly the same weight. There could be differences in the length, just a teeny tiny bit, or it could be differences in the glue, the adhesive, I don't know, but it's going to be around that 0.90 range. But that shows that the heavier 21 gram and the 22 gram packs, their wrappers are the same weight. They are not the same weight as the very light 21 gram ones. Now what about the really spacious wide pack wrappers from the 22 gram range? Is there a difference? I thought that there would be a difference, but there doesn't seem to be that much of a difference. It's 0.91, just like the snug wrappers here. And that's a good thing, because I don't want to keep on dividing the packs between really spacious and really snug or whatever. It's kind of a pain. We can rest assured that pack wrappers, as long as they're the same material, though they may be a different width or a different length, they're pretty much going to weigh about the same. So even though we've proven that pack wrapper material does contribute to a difference in weight, the difference isn't enough to justify literally a 1 gram difference. It was just like a 0.2 gram difference about. One material was 0.9 and the other material was 0.7, so about a 0.2 gram difference, when we should find a 1 gram difference, or somewhere around 1 gram. Well, enter in the cards. We have these cards to weigh, and these cards here came from the lightest 21 gram pack. And I tried to find the same, non-hollow cards, the same reverse hollows and the same hollows to compare, but I couldn't necessarily do that for reverse hollows and hollows. I could do that with the non-hollows. So the non-hollows for each group, we have the light 21 gram, we have the higher 21 gram, and we have the 22 gram. The non-hollows will be the same, but everything else is going to be different. So I tried, but regardless, the results are going to be representative of all the other cards. So let's calibrate it again, make sure it is good, which it is. Again, this is the lightest 21 gram range pack cards. So let's start with Litleo. Litleo is 1.65 grams. Here's another non-hollow, which is a Dracloak. Also 1.65 grams. Now let's stop there for a bit and do the non-hollows for the higher 21 gram range. Here's the 21 gram Litleo, the heavier one. It's 1.72, which is almost a gram difference. And here's the Dracloak, 1.73. So still about a 0.1 gram difference. And that is pretty significant because if each of these non-holo cards in the pack, and there's like, what, 8 of them or 7 of them or something? If each of these is a 0.1 gram difference, yeah, it's pretty easy to tell why the really light 21 gram pack was much lighter than all the other packs. Now here is the 22 gram non-holos. We have Litleo first, that's 1.81. That's higher than the higher 21 gram range. And here's the Dracloak, the non-holo, 1.82. So again, another jump in weight. I could probably stop the video here because it's pretty much a no-brainer at this point. Why we have 22 gram range packs and then a heavier 21 gram and then the really light 21 gram. But just to satisfy some curiosities out there, I am gonna weigh the reverse holos and the holos as well. So this is the really light 21 gram range. These are reverse holos, 1.84 for Dunsparce and 1.81 for Umbreon. So they're in the 1.8 range, the low 1.8. Now here are reverse holos from the higher 21 gram range. Vaporeon is 1.96 and Eevee is also 1.96. So wow, okay. Definitely heavier. Now here are 2 reverse holos from the 22 gram range, and I figured I'd throw in a trainer and throw in this type of reverse holo. So let's do Screamtail. It's 1.96, which is pretty much the same as the higher 21 gram range. And then the trainer is 1.95. So that means that the difference between the 21 gram range, the heavier 21 gram, and then the 22 gram range rests in the non-holos. Their reverse holos are the same, but as we had weighed earlier, their non-holos are not the same. But the difference between the 22 gram range and the really low 21 gram range is probably everything, because not only were their non-holos different, their reverse holos were also different. Now, how about the holos? Let's do that. This is the really lightweight 21 gram holo cards. We have Flareon, that is 1.97. Then we have Vaporeon, also at 1.97. Now this is from the heavier 21 gram range. I did find a Vaporeon. Wow, 1.84. This one's actually lighter than that one. And then the Dunsparce holo, 1.83. So the heavier 21 gram range had lighter than the really lightweight packs. Now how about the 22 gram range? Here is the holo, 1.97, which is similar to the really lightweight packs. And Espeon is 1.98, so still within that range. Now it looks like the higher 21 gram and the 22 gram range, the difference between them is also the holos. And I think the 21 gram range had the lighter holos so that they don't become 22 grams. That is my guess at this point. Now, what about the Pokeballs and the Master Balls? Is there a difference in those? Well, let's find out. I remembered that the Espeon Pokeball and the Archaludon Master Ball was from the lightest of packs, the really light 21 gram range. And I remember the Noibat Master Ball was from the 22 gram range. So if there's a difference between that, I don't think I need to weigh the 21 gram range stuff. So let's start with Espeon, 1.83. Let's do the Duraludon Master Ball now, 1.87. Maybe Master Balls are heavier than reverse Pokeballs. Now here's the Master Ball Noibat from the 22 gram range, 1.99, which is definitely heavier than any of these two. So that means the reverse Pokeballs and Master Balls also have a weight difference. Yep, so that's it. I'm pretty sure the mystery is solved as to why we had really low 21 gram packs and then a higher 21 gram pack and then the 22 grams. It has to do with the non-holos, the reverse holos, the Pokeball Master Ball reverse holos, and the holos, and I'm pretty sure the energy cards, the foil energy cards, and the code cards. So that's really it, but we still see patterns in this, in that the lightest 21 gram packs would have certain kinds of non-holos and certain kinds of reverse holos and certain kinds of holos, and the same thing with the higher 21 gram and the 22 gram, they're all going to have a certain kind of non-hollow and reverse hollow and so on, so that they will attain the weights that they have. And of course, we have the pack wrapper difference as well, but that's just a difference in material versus a difference in size. So that is all I have for this video. Hopefully that was very informative and interesting. Hope to see you in the next pack stat.